Right, we are back again after a bit of a break here, right into the game. We're going to go on to Overpass, guys, for this final and deciding map between dAT Team and London Conspiracy. So, welcome to the show, everybody. And Vendetta, you're sticking with your Scandinavian brothers in trusting that maybe London Conspiracy can come out on top here. I mean, I don't know. I'm sort of worried, to be honest. World Edit seemed to really wake up during that Inferno map. I'm not sure if he's not going to continue. What do you say to that?
Well, I mean, there's always the opportunity for him to keep the hot hand, but then again, Dennis had a hot hand on Mirage. Palf as well. Palf did not have a great second map, so people can cool off pretty quickly and people can reheat as well. So I'm gonna stick by my prediction. I'm picking LC to win it.
Picking LC to win it. Well, fair enough, fair enough. I guess this is still a map that we're learning a lot about, and we're learning, I mean, the teams are too, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun seeing how different teams approach this map. I still feel like, from the small amount of data that we have, it seems like the A-bomb site is a lot harder to take than the B-bomb site. But it seems like, on the other hand, if you don't get a pick off somewhere else on the map first and just try and go straight for B, which is down here underneath the bridge, it's going to be still tricky. So, I don't know. I think this is still a CT-sided map. But some terrorist teams have managed to come up with some good answers for both bomb sites so far.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that are gonna hurt LC, or could potentially hurt LC on this map, is the fact that they aren't, as you said, a team. So they haven't gotten any practice strats as of right now. And as a result of that, I think we're gonna see a lot of pushes towards B if they end up starting on the T side. Simply because that's the easier bomb site to get onto, and you don't really have to have that many complicated flashes or smokes to actually get in on the side or get to the site. So that seems like the most accessible option, really, for the mixed team.
Well, maybe it is. We're going to have a knife round to start it off. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. This is Room on Fire and the Caseking of the Hill, cooled by Alpenföhn. We've got the third map coming up between dAT Team and London Conspiracy to decide who is going to be facing off against this week's Kings, which is the Fnatic team that seems to be almost unbeatable. So, whoever goes through is going to have a really, really tough task on their hands. Once again, it's actually dAT Team who win the knife round. They've done that on the first two maps as well. And we'll see if that's going to make a big difference here on Overpass. So thank you for joining us, everyone. Remember, invite your friends, and we'll be doing more giveaways later on the stream for the subscribers. Amongst other things, we have this M4A4, and we also have this Boreal Forest knife, thanks to Stony. So definitely stick around if you're a subscriber, and we'll do those giveaways a little bit later. Now, I think we're just about ready. dAT Team going to be starting on the CT side. I'm wondering if that's going to make a big difference for them, the fact that they do get to start on that slightly more favorite side.
Well, they definitely feel more comfortable with it, seeing how they're picking it, I would assume. So that's always a good thing for them.
You'd hope so, right. And, I mean, I think they actually managed to go live and then not live again, but they did buy a Molotov on Prisrack and also a couple of more grenades, so... I think it seems like, especially the B-bomb side, is you can very much hold that with Molotovs and smokes because of the obviously the pipes that go into either bomb side, right? Makes a big difference.
Oh, but I don't know if we've seen Overpass played since the changes that were made to the map in an official match, have we?
No.
Because now all of a sudden a house is no longer a house, it's just a brick. And all right, well, we'll talk about that after the pistol round, because already LC are wasting no time at all. They're getting slaughtered, basically. They go for a B-split push, and it just gets absolutely obliterated. A perfect hold from that team, and a perfect read on their part, just completely shutting LC down. That B-split push did not happen at all. But like, there's been changes that have been made. Like, control of mid is a little bit trickier now, because there's that boost spot that you can't actually use anymore. The A house is no longer a house. It's just a brick thing, basically, that you can't actually go into it anymore. They've kind of changed up the positioning of the light post as well on A site. So for people camping A site, looking down the angle towards Snake, you can't actually see that, or you can see a bit clearly now, more clearly. Like, there's a bunch of little changes that have been made to this map. So it's very cool to actually see now two teams playing on it and an official.
It is definitely nice. That's a wonderful grenade thrown out by Flamey there. Almost kills Dennis entirely. They have bought some armor on the terror side, but it's a strong start for that team. I'm impressed again.
Yeah, this is really nice. Flamey with a good headshot there to take out Poff. Only Bondic being getting caught so far. They do manage to pick up a FAMAS because of that, however, so LC actually have some firepower to play with now. Would love to see that get passed off to Skirk, but Skirk's on the other side of the map right now, so that's not going to really help so much. He gets pinned down as well. Flamey spots him getting on the other side of that pillar, or on the other side of the pipe, rather, so LC are getting picked apart at this point. Their second round isn't really going their way.
Now, one thing that was a tiny bit interesting about how that team actually set up on this CT side is the fact that they had three people towards the B bomb side. Obviously, that could be a measure they take simply because they're up against an eco, but if they're actually deciding to hold, Rain nearly takes up late there. So now it's all down to Dennis, and it's going to be really hard for him to actually get a bomb plant down here.
It'd be nice. I mean, if he gets the headshot on Blade here with the Deagle, then that's the opening he needs. And if he can even sneak up here, I don't think they can actually stop it. So it's going to be an $800 bonus here for London Conspiracy. That's not bad at all. Actually getting the bomb to explode or holding it down long enough is a completely different question, and it's not even going to be relevant there. Blade will take care of it. But still, that's a nice bonus.
Yeah, I think that's more than LC realistically could have hoped for there for quite some time. So yeah, good job from them getting the bomb plant and 2 kills in the eco round. But yeah, as I was saying, I'm curious to see whether or not that is going to set up with 3 people towards the B bomb site or not, as LC get the opportunity to buy up, because that's something we've not because that's something we've not normally seen too much of lately on Overpass. The few games we have gotten to see it, obviously.
This time, everyone is going to go out towards the birthday party. Which is not a bad thing, you know, if you're ecoing anyway, why not go where the balloons are? That's what I say. Well, Did It, though, is going to actually ruin the party a little bit for Skirk and for Rain both. They're not even invited here. They don't have the birthday party pass, and they're all going to get shut down. That's a quad kill before World Did It is finally taken care of. Polly going to go down last, so I don't know. That was almost like the Red Wedding in Game of Thrones right there. That was nowhere near a party that I'd want to go to.
That turned into a slaughter, but then World Edit really playing very aggressively versus a potential eco round, right? You know, so him getting all the way up there that close to the T side of the map when he has an op and he knows they might be on pistols, that was still kind of scary. So it's not because I want to see World Edit die, but you know, it's kind of a good thing that LC actually managed to rush him down and get that punish.
Well, now they have rifles, so we'll have to see what the Londoners can do. I guess it's a little bit confusing. They're called London Conspiracy and they're actually from Norway, and well, I guess with the mix as well, they're from Sweden halfway too. That's never going to not be interesting.
They want to keep you on your toes, Anders.
Certainly. I mean, it's almost more than I can handle.
Well, already we're seeing a different hold here from that. Oh, nice spray from Rain through the door. Finds Flamey, so that's a good start for LC. It's already going to prompt the rotation out of dAT team, rotating 2 guys very quickly over to that B site. LC, you can tell that dAT are worried about LC with the aggressive tactics, perhaps because LC are a bit of a mix right now, so they're expecting them to go for like the rush YOLO play off of any kind of pick, but LC are really really playing this very slowly. They're not rushing this at all, slowly walking into sites right now.
Well, Skirk goes down. That angle from Pristrak wasn't what he was expecting. Rain's going to come in and does get the second peg off. Has to be careful he doesn't run into the fire. That would have been awful. But it's actually going to be an A push right now. And World Edit is here with the AWP. Last time around he did great. But this time around they have way more smokes to try and deal with him. And he's at a strange angle. Polly's just going to run and gun and take him down. Bondic now in a position to kill the bomb planter. And that actually buys a lot of time right now.
Now, that was a really nice kill. That's going to slow things down somewhat. Polly is now going to be the man trying to get this plant, but he plants out in the open, and Prizrak instantly gets the punish on him. Brings it back to a 2-on-2 retake situation.
And Rain coming up from behind with that kill. Absolutely critical. Very, very important here from London Conspiracy, and they win the 4th round. I was very amused by that initial frag from Rain through the door. Mostly because I wasn't on the receiving end, because if I had been on the receiving end of a kill like that through just spamming through the door, I would have probably headbutted my monitor and just left the game. That must have been infuriating.
Well, if you were actually in Flamey's situation right there, you would have blamed yourself, actually, because he closed the door on Rain, so Rain knew that someone was nearby.
Alright, I just didn't catch that on the camera, so for me it just looked like he just sat down and sprayed through an oath. It looks slightly more suspicious, but it's good to know.
Well, we can already see a difference in how that team are actually setting up right now. We see, I guess, what's more towards the common way of playing it, which was having Blade down there, checking out the underpass early on. Now they're actually making a rotation. I'm not really sure what the idea, where they want Blade as of right now, but playing 2 people on long seems kind of overkill-ish. Because that's not an area that's heavily used most of the time on this map. But it could work. Bondig is in a really unconventional position as of right now, so this could catch Skirk off guard.
Yeah, Skirk is right now saying, I'm about to hit the snake. It's right there. Oh, Prizrak will pick off Rain over at B site. In the meantime, World Edit will catch Skirk peeking around the corner, so 2 good kills here for dAT. LC are currently working their way through connector towards the B site from A, and this is potentially a good situation. All 3 of them coming here together, but then the rotation already coming out here from dAT. They're going to be very prepared for this push that's about to come onto this site.
Yeah, I really don't see how this is going to work. I think Blade even jumped over to actually spot that they're coming, so they know everything right now. Prizrak here going to peek out, takes down 1, and gets the second one too. And that's a triple kill in total from Prizrak, which is a very, very important round coming in here from that. No chance for LC to build up a good economy. They did not even get the bomb plan in that round. So they're going to be back to ecoing, and that survived the round with 3 members, right?
3, 4?
3, yeah.
3.
Not bad.
No, that's
actually, it might have been 4. Actually, no,
I think it was 4. I think they lost 1 guy.
Right.
The guy to the initial push, and then that was it.
Even better. 4 is better than 3 in terms of surviving.
Yeah, if you look at the money right now, 4 of them are sitting on 2,100. So 4 guys live, and that means that dAT can start breathing a little bit more here. They do have Bondik, who's still on FAMAS. It's going to be a B flash play here coming in from LC. They're just going to rush through the smoke and look to rush down Prizrak, and they get the headshot first. But there's still a man alive. Flamey on this B site. He's picking him up left and right. Nearly picks up a 3rd frag there.
And they do lose a lot of members. I mean, already 2 people down here. It will be World Edit and Blade to pick it up, but it's a pretty decent rush, I would say. You know, they invested, as you said, there's the flash play. They throw 1 flashbang, they kill 2 members. That's not bad.
Yeah, that headshot on Prizrak early is crucial, basically. 2 guys were over at that, or rather, Flamey holding from short, but then World Edit quickly getting over here to support his mate as well. So we can tell that dAT have definitely put some time on this map. They seem to have an idea of how they want to approach holding it and who's rotating where. And now it's going to be the play through connector. LC looking to split up B once again. They're looking to catch Flamey out on short, and they'll do just. Dennis opens things up here for the Norwegians and the Swedes.
Right, now that team are woefully out of position. Blade is coming in as the closest backup. Prizrak's going to go down, and I think that team need to just, you know, reconcile themselves to the idea that this round is lost. They lose another rifle, and I don't think they needed to do that. I think in a 5-on-3, when you're that far away from the bomb site, it's not really worth going for. And World Edit's going to commit to it as well. Bondik sneaking up from behind. I think this is a big loss of rifles, basically, that they didn't need to lose on the CT side.
As soon as they lose the bomb site instantly, they might as well lay off. Especially because even though they've won, well, they won 2 rounds in a row, but they've picked up 5 rounds. So you'd imagine that they're kind of, as Rain masters the art of ladder shooting, you would have imagined that they would have had a tiny bit better economy than what they currently do. But you can see Prizrak and Flamey, they're really scraping the bottom of the barrel right now for money.
His World's going to be able to do much. Yeah, he's still sitting on 3,500, but he has to get that rifle dropped for him. And now do we see dAT manage to bounce back and shut down LC? Because this is a great opportunity for them to just shatter LC's money. LC winning around and then losing one is going to put them in the pit. And look at the aggressive play coming out from dAT. All across the map, they pushed up to get in LC's face and kind of hem them in on their side of the map.
Yeah. Good grenade coming out here, but Bondik is over by the picnic area, and Polly's looking. Once that smoke is gone, Bondik is going to be weirdly trapped behind the sign there. And Porf is moving up next to the balloons, jumping down, and it's going to catch World Edit. Pretty much perfect timing. And Bondik is just waiting. He's going to probably be the key here. He has to get this kill on Polly, if nothing else.
Polly has no idea either.
And he jumped, and Bondik got the shot mid-air. That was a pretty impressive reaction. Now they're fighting it out with Blade, and they're going to come out on top as well. And now I'm wondering if Rain isn't going to be the next key guy, because he's sort of in the middle of the map. He's running up right behind Bondik, and Bondik hears him.
Yeah, Bondik hears. This is the important bit. They know that there's a guy still back here, Bondik, obviously, but Rain will get the spray down on him, and this is going to open things up nicely here for LC. They've got the man advantage. They've got the bomb plant down. Flamey only just now rotating over from the B site with his mate Priz, and they kind of have to figure out a way to be able to double up on someone right now, I think, because Flamey's taking a lot of damage, and he just goes...
Oh, man. Priz rack, 1-on-3. Best case, get some entry frags, but Skirk says no, and Dennis coming up from behind, so they commit to taking that from us away, and that's not a bad idea, considering that now that team are definitely forced to eco, so the Norwegians are making their way back here. They are probably going to be able to pick up a 4th round here, unless they run into some crazy pistols.
Yeah, this should be the point where LC actually try to bring it, or manage to bring it back, because there is a danger for that they actually have to double eco. At least if they want to get that off, that's been so important for them earlier on World Edit, they have to double eco. But we'll see what they actually decide to do in the after this eco.
They haven't really invested into any pistols, right? There's no C-Set 75, so you do sort of wonder if that's the pricing difference that was introduced in one of the last patches. The fact that it cost 500 instead of 300 means some of them don't pick it up, or maybe they just felt like they wanted to buy this round.
Yeah,
it has more to do. Yeah,
exactly. It's like, just maximize the money and get a good force out here. There's not going to be an AWP for World Edit, but still, we can get 4 rifles, decent nades, no kit picked up, so that's a little bit unfortunate there for that. Maybe you want to drop one guy, you know, like, say Blade doesn't get a helmet, he has enough for a kit with 50 bucks left over for a decoy, so I don't know. That's deciding to just focus on nades and rifles at this point, and we'll see how they fare here. LC, once again, going for a very fast play into pit.
And this time they're not going to catch anyone there. Flamey playing it a little bit more defensively than last time, which is pretty a good idea. He did get picked off. Good grenade is going to land on him, but they've taken over the pit area, and now, well, they get some,
I guess we should call it sewer.
We
should call it sewer, right?
We could call it sewer as well. I'm up for almost anything.
I think pit is over on A site, so got a bit confused there for a second. It's definitely, I think it's going to be called sewer, or at least we should try and just get it to be called sewer, just so that there's no confusion there. I mean, it's the sewer in front of Squeak, like that's like Squeak door area basically.
Oh, great pick up on Prisrack. Good headshot here. Goes for a second one. He's going to take down Skirk, and that drops the bomb. And you can tell he saw that coming. Grenade is going to maybe, I don't know, give him a bit of a headache, but it won't actually kill him.
Slow things down somewhat. Rain does manage to find the shot on Priz, but the rotation is in from dAT. They're all over this B side at this point. They're ready to lock anything down here coming in from LC. LC not really committing. They've got a man up on short. He's going to try and work his way in here. Poff is going to get shot down, however. And then the rotation will happen for this B side. The bomb, not sure if it's been spotted yet, but both members for London Conspiracy are over on this B side at this point.
They are. Oh, Blade is going to go down now. It's just on Polly here. 1-on-3. Takes the fight with one. He could make this a 1-on-1, but not quick enough here. World Edit does come up with the M4. Could have been a cool 1-on-1 if you'd taken out Blade before World Edit showed up. That's 6-4. And London Conspiracy, well, they have the money to force it up. And even if they lose this upcoming round, they actually still have a decent amount of money, at least for their players.
Yeah, right now, economically speaking, it's that team who's on the ropes, but if they can continue to win rounds, then they're obviously not going to have a big problem with it.
Flash in, Polly. Once again, taking over sewer. They're going to go straight up short this time. They aren't wasting any time at all. They want to get up in Flamey's face as quickly as possible. Priz is here to back him up, however, but Polly picks him off first. And now it's just Flamey alive. That's not for long. Blade, though, gets the flank and gets 2 kills.
Really, really important spray down there. And they're going to get Dennis as well. That Dash actually turned it into a 2-on-2. And there hasn't been a bomb plant yet. Polly's putting up a smoke, getting ready for it. He has the bomb, but he's going to be alone. 1-on-2 now. And he cancels the bomb plant. So now they have even more time in that grenade. Another touchdown. Lands right on him. And it's going to be 7-4. That was a big turnaround. For me, it looked like LC were very close to having that round almost initially with that push.
I really look that way, and I think LC could have, obviously it's easy, 2020 hindsight and whatnot, to say that they probably should have taken a bit more time before they went for the bomb plant in that situation. Because that team are so quick to rotate over towards that B bomb site, so you might want to get a bit more control over the bomb site before you actually commit to it.
It seemed like Flamey was reacting this round to the previous 2 pushes that have been going on in towards the sewer. So he actually decided to try and greet them there, and he almost killed 2 people, but just a 1-for-1 trade so far. I mean, I guess that's still a little bit tricky. They lost one of their best players. They take down Skirk, which is good, but gotta be careful.
There's definitely some cause for concern there for LC, but still, they've got control of the entrance to A side at this point. There's Bondic rotating over, however, to help, or at least to help World Edit, who's holding this site currently. Bondic is in a bit of an interesting position. He can try and open things up, but the flashes are going to go out on this site, and World Edit is still alive, and he's going to get 1, but it's only a 1-for-1 trade.
A good headshot there from Dennis, and actually a second kill coming in from him, so not at all bad. It's going to be a bomb plant happening as well. Rain not getting tagged with that smoke. It's close. And there's Blade picking up the kill on Polly. Goes for Rain as well, and he's going to be successful. It's down to Dennis now, who's picked himself a triple kill. He's going to have to go for an ace right here. Looking for the first headshot, not connecting with it. Blade sneaking up. Prisrak is getting closer as well, and that's a great kill. So there it is. Instant death, and that team will take another round and putting themselves at 8. This is very interesting. I think LC are going to be fine if they can pick up around 5 rounds on the first half. So I really want to see them get 1 more before they relax too much.
Yeah, and that last round is probably one that they should have picked up regardless. I think 9 out of 10 times Rain picks up that frag onto Blade, and that makes Prizrak's job a lot harder to actually have to push in towards that bomb site with both Dennis and Rain and a crossfire. But Blade makes it work, so another round for that team.
Yeah, and another rush for LC. They're going straight up onto B again. Straight through the main pipe. Prizrak this time around. However, he's going to get 1. Flamey gets 1. Priz gets 2. And this is all of a sudden turning into the Flamey show. He's still alive on short, and he's still just holding down this site. 3 kills for him in the end, and LC don't get that plant that they were really looking for. They came very close. If they could have picked off Flamey, they had that site and the plant, but Flamey decided, no. It's not going to happen, and he maintains 14 frags. He actually maintains the lead on this map right now.
Flamey's so much on fire, he almost took down Blade as well on his team. He almost headshotted him to death then. So yeah, definitely fired up here.
Now we have to see once again. Well, I was about to say, once again, that team taking up aggressive positions, and World Edit finds Polly peeking at long. Flamey's going to go ahead and go for the spray down on Rain, but he can't get the job done. Nearly runs out of bullets and does not get the kill, but Blade, in the meantime, has picked up 1.
Oh, and Prisrak and Skirk exchanging bullets over at the pipe going into the B-bomb side, and it's Skirk coming out on top, just barely. He's on 4 points of health, but it's a 3-on-3 now. And what I'm wondering is, I mean, look at the adventure that Bondic is on here. Skirk has no idea, and Bondic is smartly going to wait. He wanted to see if more people are coming. Now, they weren't, but if there had been more people, that would have been a genius move. Now, Rain, we're 1-on-3 here, and it's going to go down to World Edit, so 10-4 right here, and not a lot of money left for LC in the final round.
No, definitely not. They're struggling. That last round, well, I mean, this is going to prompt a force buy out of them, and we can see very limited nades for them. Just enough for 2 guys to pick up AKs and armor. One of them gets dropped. Like, this is very touch and go as to who's going to be able to actually do what here. LC, they're going to rely on their rifles, and again, it looks like they just want to go for the sheer aggression. They're just trying to rush out, get control of short. Flamey hears it coming thanks to World Edit, and he's in position to get the first frag.
Prisrak fighting out. It's going to take down Polly. Tries to reload. Not going to be any time for that kind of thing. And Porf wants to go for a quick bomb plant. And actually, that's something else you haven't really done a lot. A few times they put the bomb down. They haven't had time to defend it properly. This time, at least, they can get into better positions. Porf doesn't get flashed here, and doesn't even matter. They instantly lose it anyway. I'm gonna go check out the decal on the wall here. Olafmeister's decal.
You know, somebody on Reddit the other day actually did a really cool wallpaper with him, where it was the mix between the decal and him actually standing in the flames and diffusing.
I saw that, yeah. That was
nice. Really cool.
So first half, Vendetta, is it enough with 4 rounds for London Conspiracy here?
I don't think so. I think that are looking very poised to actually take this game. There's no doubt that LC are going to need the pistol to get back into this, but even with the pistol, I think it's going to be extremely hard for them to actually hold off the dAT aggression for the entire half.
Agreed. I think it's going to be really tough. I mean, they don't have a whole lot of... How should we put it? They don't have a whole lot of cushion, really. I mean, that's basically what it breaks down to. They needed at least a couple more rounds. Maybe like a 9-6 finish or a 10-5 finish. Maybe LC feel a little bit more comfortable going into the second half. But 4 rounds leaves them very little room for mistakes here. And with a mix as well... I don't know. dAT, they're looking like they're in a very good position to go ahead and face up against Fnatic soon.
Exactly. That will be our next match. Either LC or dAT facing Fnatic in a best of 3. That's also tonight, so once this game is over, you don't want to go anywhere. Right now, we're in the second half of the third map here. Caseking of the Hill, cooled by Alpenföhn. Guys, remember to click the link at the bottom of the page. It says raffle, and you can win an Asus GeForce graphics card. So don't forget to do it, guys. There's a lot on the line, and it's not just this week, it's the upcoming weeks as well. But now we're into the pistol on the second half here, and Pristrak almost getting double teamed here. He's going to go for the fight anyway, and it's Puff who starts off with a good kill.
Wow, yeah, I'm looking very good indeed. This is a man advantage now for LC. Holding down this site so far. Blade does manage to get the drop on Poly, however, at mid, but Puff is in position to get the return frag. There is Flamey lurking around the corner, but it looks like Puff, at least for a second there, was aware until he turns away and Flamey hits the perfect timing, brings it back to a 2-on-2, and we're pretty even here, except that Rain's about to get the perfect flank from Connector.
That's very nice. And now World did it. Did Rain hear him jumping down? I'm not sure. He's certainly in a good position still, Rain. He's got 12 bullets left here. It's going to spot him out, and it's a great triple kill from the Norwegian player. He's also top fragging on his team, almost top fragging in the game, only outdone by Flamey at the moment. A hugely critical round from LC. If there was anything that was going to spark a comeback into the game, it would be winning that pistol round.
Agreed. That was it, basically. That's what had to happen. And LC managing to get, well, everything to fall into place basically when it needed to happen there. So, when it needed to. So, this is looking very solid here for LC. Bondic is going to run face first into Dennis. Raid with a great shot on World headed over on the B side of things as well is going to start that team off pretty strong.
Skirk going down. Flamey with a good kill. Dennis and then Porf and leaving Pristrak and Flamey alone. Flamey has managed to steal a FAMAS. And well, they're going to want it back. Or at least going to want to make sure he can't keep it. So they will. Only Skirk dying. And a pretty respectable round from LC.
Yeah, they can live with only losing one member. That's not a big issue at all. So they're going to probably drop around a few weapons. And we can see, yeah, Skirk takes over one of the FAMASs. And now they have to do it again, because they need to build up some sort of a back, because as Sam pointed out, they don't have that big of a cushion. So if they actually lose the first buy round, they need to make sure that they can buy up for the follow-up round.
Yeah, exactly.
Very close to going down here, but he's got some backup in Poly, making sure he doesn't get flanked, and at the end, it's Rain who dies. Nice job from Dennis, making sure he didn't get rushed down. There are 3 people coming in through that underground area, and it's going to be 11-7. So now they're only 4 rounds away, and I think things are looking a lot brighter for LC, but a lot's going to ride on this one round. If that can get back on track here early on in the second half, that's obviously a big problem.
We saw what happens when they start to get momentum. Happened on Mirage, happened on Inferno, and now, I mean, their first half of Overpass looked phenomenal for that. So LC, it's all now. This is their second hurdle that they have to get across here after that pistol round. Picking up the first rifle round would be huge for them. And dAT still kind of trying to find a way in. Perhaps counting on World Edit to find a pick for them, an opening somewhere. But look at how LC are holding right now. Their focus is all on mid. They're not interested in long at all right now.
They're really not. I'm not sure if dAT have realized that this is happening yet. You can see World Edit is scoping up over here, looking towards the picnic area and the toilets, and just wondering if he's ever going to spot anyone. And there's going to be Pristrak walking up behind and taking down Puff. So it's a nice initial kill. But they've also spent a lot of time doing this. There's 45 seconds, and they're still pretty much no closer to a bomb site than they were 30 seconds ago.
This is somewhat weakening the defense, though, because we see the rotation, the extra man coming up to A site. So LC are deciding to go with the 2-2 hold here. 2 guys on each site to just try and stop this push. Rain is pushing forward, looking towards T spawn, but he's about to get wrapped in on an instant headshot on Prizrak. As soon as that door opens, Rain reacts instantly. Fantastic shot.
He even saw the gun barrel sticking through the hole in the door, so it was even cooler than that. Grenade is not going to hit anyone here, and Dennis is going to pick up the first kill. Good defense coming out right here from LC, and they got to win this round. If they let that back in already, it might be just a little bit too much to handle. Bomb is going to be planted here. Flamey with a great headshot. Dennis picks up one, and he gets another one. That's a quad kill, and that's going to be a defuse as well. Very nicely handled, especially from Dennis in that B bomb site. So Vendetta having 2 people on either bomb site worked even though they were a man down. That's actually a little bit surprising to me.
Yeah, it worked largely due to the fact that Rain picked up Prizrak so early on. So there was never really any sandwich that seemed to be the idea that dAT wanted. They wanted to sandwich in the guy in sewers or by the sewer area. So with him taking out Prizrak that early, being able to actually pull back into the bomb site, they can hold it fairly normally as you would with, well, two people normally. So that was the saving grace for LC in that round.
Now, well, they've just traded early on here. Rain has gone down the hero. A blast round maybe. It's already dead. And dAT are having... I mean, if you compare the way that dAT are playing the terror side to the way LC are playing, it's much, much slower right now.
No, it certainly is. They're really measuring it out right now. And it's a similar thing to what we saw in Inferno as well. You know, just taking their time, pacing themselves, looking for picks, getting information on how LC are holding. All of this really just playing into dAT's game, which is we know what we're doing. We're not going to just YOLO rush around on the map and just try and, you know, catch our opponents off guard. We're confident in our ability to slow the pace of the game and make that work for us. So we can see dAT just kind of still poking about on the map, not really committing anywhere, even though we're starting to get down to that crunch time. 40 seconds left. We move into 35, and they still need to get onto a site. But LCF set up with the 2-2 again.
Yeah, especially Dennis here with the AWP. I think it's going to make a big difference. Smoke is up already, and Prizrak's going to try and push through, and he is denied. There's just no other way of putting it. Though no access to be found here. In the meantime, they're pushing the B bomb side, and that is going to work out a lot better. They take down Polly. And a great double kill from Skirk in here. So now it's Bondig left. He's nowhere near the bomb. He's going to take down Dennis. But he can't really win the round any longer unless he can find Skirk within the next 6 seconds. And that's not going to happen. So a close round. I mean, and a really cool attempt, I think, from that team to do a split push to both A and B. And then if they could have killed Skirk up on the high ground there, up on the sniper nest, that would have been exactly the opening they needed.
No, certainly a good time for Skirk to wake up, right? He's been sitting on 3 frags for ages throughout the first half. Didn't really have an impact for his team. So for him to get those 2 kills, that was crucial play from him. And that keeps LC in the running now and actually puts them very close to where dAT team stand. I mean, 11-9 to score. LC win another buy round, and it looks like it's going to be a 4-set of dAT team, seeing as how Blade invested into Galil and Armor. So if they can actually shut down dAT without letting them get a plant, they could be looking at a tied game in just 2 rounds time here. So LC definitely have to be feeling it right now. Not sure why we have the pause coming in. Going to check that real quick.
We'll find out. And actually, I think they just called for an unpause. So one guy's in the bathroom. I think they're going to be back any second now. So if you are just joining us and you haven't done it already, remember to click the Facebook raffle that's going on at the bottom of our page, guys. It has a raffle icon right down there. And you can win an Asus GeForce graphics card. So don't forget to do it. And if you click and you don't win this week, then you can still win in the upcoming weeks. This is the 8th week out of 14. So we have more coming up for you guys here at the Caseking of the Hill tournament. We want to thank all of you for tuning in. There's a pretty wide sort of variety of games going on tonight. So I'm glad you guys want to come and hang out with us here on the channel. We really do appreciate that a whole lot. And I mean, this month is pretty heavy on Counter-Strike. The next month, October, in case you are, not really aware of it, that is going to be an insane month. Absolutely crazy. It's going to be so much Counter-Strike. And we're looking forward to bringing you at least a large part of it. Semler and I are going to be in Stockholm casting Fragmite Masters. And there's a lot more coming up as well. So it's going to be interesting. But now we've unpaused. Vendetta, are you starting to feel a little bit more confident in your Norwegian brothers here?
I'm still not comfortable with what I'm saying, but it's definitely better than what we were looking at the end of the first half, obviously. So 5 rounds in a row is great for LC, but they need to keep it up, and it's not like they're in the perfect spot because they haven't been able to really build up any sort of an economy up till this point, and that's the biggest issue for them at this. If that manages to break them, then they're so much closer to getting match point.
It looked like... Oh, that's really cool. Polly getting the information from his teammate that was Rain looking through from the other pipe. So that was interesting. And actually, they could have got a kill even earlier from Dennis over at the birthday party area, but he missed the shot. Still, works out great for LC.
Yeah, and LC continue to land the shots and continue to get the entries. And once again, dAT, they're gonna just try and slow down the game once again. LC at this point, you can see how they've all kind of collapsed back towards the bomb sites, back towards where they aren't too far away from a bomb site, right? They have the man advantage at this point, so they don't need to be going around and hunting dAT, giving dAT the opportunity to even things up and bring it back to a 4-on-4. They're just gonna hang back and make sure that dAT, they have to play the clock. And they have to bleed that clock before dAT can get in position to actually take a crack at a site. But now we have to see if LC are going to have the right call. And they do have Powerful Live on this A site with support from Dennis. But now can they actually hold when the push comes in?
Well, they need to get smoked. They need to smoke Dennis off somehow. I'm not sure if they've done that yet. I mean, he's flashed out here, but he's going to have to pick off anyway. Onto Blade. Goes for a second one. That's now a double. Not going to get the triple. Gets denied by World Edit, who's now alone. 1-on-3 and 6. 5 seconds left. He gets another kill, and it's still going to be too late, which is very frustrating here. No scope as well, and he can't win the round. That's the second round here where the terrorist side have ended up in a 1-on-1, and they run out of time to win the round. Very frustrating, I have to imagine. That's now 10-11, and London Conspiracy winning 6 rounds in a row in the second half here.
And what the reason behind why dAT is using so much time actually getting onto bomb site is because they're so keen on having World Edit work as their point man. He's supposed to find the entry frag. He's supposed to find every opening onto a bomb site, it seems. And with how passively LC play that round, there's no room for a World Edit to actually find an entry frag before they more or less sacrifice a couple of people into the defense of LC. So that's smart from LC, recognizing that World Edit is the player who's kind of got the hot hand, or at least they did on Inferno, and play from that.
Yeah, that's a very good thing. I mean, or a very good point. Kind of reminds you of Foxio with Epsilon. Prizrak will find the entry frag on Poff as the smoke clears. So there's that team actually changing things around. Now they are the guys with the man advantage going into this, and a pretty significant advantage of that. Still 50 seconds on this clock, and I mean, they could count on World Edit to find this entry, but I would like to see them actually just kind of push forward. World Edit is going to be taking point, but Flamey is going to be the one drawing the fire.
I think a bit of an overextension from Rain. I mean, he got the kill for sure, but now he's going to leave Polly alone on the bomb site. Polly's going to take down Bondic, and he goes down to World Edit. 2-on-3. No bomb plan yet, but this time they have a little bit more time. Skirk running for the smoke. That could have been a great double spray down, but it doesn't connect. Only kills the first one. Now Dennis has to work some of that Swedish magic here. He's creeping up close with the AWP, looking for the opening frag. He's going to take down Prisrak, and is now in a 1-on-1. He knows World Edit is somewhere, and World Edit comes out on top. That's a quad kill. And that team, after losing 6 in a row, they end up finally winning and making it 12-10. And Vendetta, you counseled against, or you warned us earlier what might happen if that win around. Instantly, London Conspiracy are ecoing.
Yeah, that's the issue with having World Edit kind of run rampage on your team in the previous rounds, because he's been picking up so many kills round after round that LC, well, yeah, they've simply lost too many guns and have had to restock over and over again. So good job by World Edit and that team to actually keep the money in check for LC.
Mm-hmm. Getting those initial frags, man, or even just getting the frags afterwards, even if he can't get the bomb plan, he gets like 2 more kills, and then LC just don't have the money. And dAT now are going to get into a position where they can actually start looking to close this match and so go on to the finals to play versus Fnatic, which would be the big thing. Look at that boost actually coming out right now over on the B site.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool, very clever, changing up the position that they're holding from.
Yeah, that's enjoyable. He's almost like a watchtower in the middle here, just looking anywhere that he can, and he's actually going to spot out the guy opening. So a tiny bit of information. I mean, if you have a rifle in that position, you could maybe pick up a kill pretty quickly.
Or an op.
Yeah, an op in that position would be deadly.
Ooh. Well, now the opening has occurred, and they do have some C-sets and some other pistols on this CT side, and they will pick up the bomb as well, so now they can actually rotate more people in here. This could still work out for LC. dAT have to commit to getting this bomb back somehow. Flame is running in here, and they will take down Dennis as well. Rain getting backstabbed, and, well, Skirk has a deagle in hand, but can't really hit that many headshots, even with a deagle. And it's going to be 13-10.
A bit of an issue there was the fact that Bondic was playing the backstab role towards that A-bomb site, and he actually kept 2 players, both Skirk and Palf, on the A-bomb site for such a long time. So even though it took him quite a while to get the kill on Palf, and he never found Skirk, he did so much work for that team, and that gave them so much time to slowly take over that B-bomb site.
Well, I mean, if LC lose this round, what's going to happen to them? They have $100 combined. So that's really not a lot. That means they're definitely going to be ecoing once, and because, well, that's going to be the third round. So, yeah, they're not going to be double eco, I think, but still, ecoing once would be painful. That'd basically give that team match and map points, so they almost have to force it up if they lose this round anyway.
Yeah,
essentially.
And given how broke they would be, I wouldn't be too surprised actually if they opted to go for overtime.
That's a really rare occurrence. It's very rare that we see a team decide to fight overtime instead of fighting for the win. But I guess it would make sense.
Well, you have to play the odds in a sense that obviously you want to win. You're never going to aim for overtime, but if you have, let's say, 1,300 across the board, then the odds of you winning a round with that kind of weaponry is not that high.
Good smokes here, but Porf might be in a good position. Tries to take down Blade, not going to connect quite. Dennis inside the bomb site does get the kill, but then World Edit is going to come back in, and he's been such a terror. Really hard for a London Conspiracy to deal with. Bomb's going to go down. Bondic receives a bit of grenade fragments there, but he's still alive, and World Edit will pick up a second kill. This is now looking very bad. Polly's coming up from behind. He's going to take one kill. Has to get a second one. He takes down Flamey. Now it's on Bondic. 1-on-2. And the bomb is not that far ticked. They can do this. They're getting in here, and Bondic goes down, and London Conspiracy are going to get the round. Even without a kit, they have enough time to defuse this bomb. So that is about as close to the edge as they could have got, London Conspiracy. Now, they got to keep fighting. It's a long road ahead of them.
It is, especially because they lost so many members that they're not going to be able to drop for everyone. If they had survived with 3 people, then they could have gotten a pretty decent buy-in. Now, at least one of them is going to have to suffer somewhat, at least in the nade department, and that's obviously something you don't want when dAT are playing so slowly, really. So you can't really you can't really afford to get baited out in terms of using nades too early.
I'd have to admire Pauly's individual performance in that last round as well, because Rain was just hunting for Bondic the entire time, and so Pauly was pretty much on his own, just kind of doing his own thing. Him finding those 2 frags really made it possible for LC in that retake, so really nicely done. But now we go into potentially one of the most crucial rounds here of this entire game. dAT, they've managed to force up and get enough money to be able to get World Edit with his AWP, right? But Prizrak is on a CZ, whereas LC has spent every dime they've got to get fully equipped here, so this is going to determine a lot. LC won't have much money to stop dAT from getting on match point if they were to lose this round.
That would be truly disastrous. That would be the worst possible outcome. Porf again in this corner that he's been in by the truck almost every round, it seems like, and that they keep throwing these smokes to try and deal with him, and this time the smoke's even better. There's absolutely nothing for him to see. He's just getting flashed, and they're going to come through, and he still turns around at exactly the right time. Great work from Porf here, taking down Blade. The bomb is going to go down, but it's a 4-on-5 retake.
It is, and Prizrak is still kind of floating out around mid. Bondic gets dropped down to 2, and he's going to get naded, but World Edit manages to return. Picks up 1 frag. He's kind of exposed, however, but he still finds Dennis through the smoke. And this is great play from World Edit once again coming through for his team. We're into a 3-on-3 retake now of this site. Pauly's been spotted out in the blue room, and this is going to open it up. World Edit, another frag for him, but he finally gets picked off. That only opens it up for Flamey and Prizrak to clean house. That team break the defense.
If you took a map of the A bomb site, right? There are a lot of places you can point out where you might want to use the AWP. I'm pretty sure this middle container is not one of them, right? You want to play from the back lines, have your riflers closer and everything. Really solid movement and really solid game sense from World Edit to pick up those 3 kills. That made just a world of difference. See what I did there?
That's cheeky. That was cheeky.
Yeah,
I'm
proud of that one.
At this point, it really feels like it's World Edit who's doing all the work for dAT. And that's not to really try to downplay all the other members on dAT. It's just that World Edit is the guy in the middle of every situation. As you said, that's not normally a good spot for an op. Normally you'd have the op outside of the site playing from the back and actually picking people coming in towards them. Instead, he's kind of just the man in the middle, just taking every challenge thrown at him.
Yeah, that's the big point, right? And he's on the brink of picking up another 30 bomb here. So Back-to-back 30 bombs. It's possible that they are now 2 rounds away from securing a spot in the finals. LC, we see they've kind of forced up whatever they can to try and stop that, but it's not looking pretty here for the Norwegian-Swedish mix. They're going to be heavily pressured. It looks like it's going to be a B-side play this time around. Bondic trying to draw attention over to the A site, but the rest of dAT are starting to push out onto this B site, and Rain's going to be the first man to spot them.
Rain will go down. They don't really do any damage at all to Flamey. And now the push is on. They're already towards the bomb site, and Blade is going to put the bomb down very quickly here. They have a couple of kits, but it looks like London Conspiracy can't keep up with it. They just don't have the equipment for it, and they were in the wrong positions to deal with that kind of E-push. They're going to be at match and map point now, that team, 15-11. And it's not like they can even really have like a big buy here. It's not like they're going to be with the orbs and auto snipers. They're going to be with pistols and armor.
Pistols and armor, and trying to do their best at this point. LC, they are getting just bored. That team are just playing so well, but it's like that world at it. Like, he is looking so good right now, and throughout all of these maps, really, he's just done huge work, and it just continues to be the case here. Going into the potential final round of this match, LC on the edge of elimination. That team 1 round away.
Skirk with a kickoff here, but Bondic's coming up from behind. He's going to catch one. Can he catch more than that? The Galil has so many bullets that he does get a quick double. Is he going to realize that Rain is right here? It's still a 2-on-3. It could be a 2-on-2 if Rain picks up this kill, but he doesn't. Bondic with the triple, and that might have just sealed the deal. Good game is called by Dennis. No faith at all in Polly's abilities to do a 1-on-3, and I'm not sure I have much faith either.
No, wrong place at the wrong time, and he's going to have quite a bit of work to do, actually, if he wants to take out the remaining 3 members of dAT. I guess the bright side is the fact that 2 of them are tagged.
He's called Poly Magic, so we're really going to have to see something truly insane here if this is going to work out. He jumps down, so now Bondic even knows where he is. He should know anyway. Not sure if the sound was masked by that flashbang. Bondic is raiding in the corner, and that's going to be the quad kill. 16-11, and it will be that team who get to face Fnatic in our next game, which is still tonight, guys. It's coming up very soon. So we're back on the camera for a little bit here. What an interesting turn of events there. Overpass turning out in favor of that team.
I think it was a strong. I mean, it was just a great performance all throughout all 3 maps from that team. For them to actually take the win versus LC on Overpass was just a great achievement for them. LC looking a little shaky, perhaps making some questionable plays, but really just not getting enough rounds in the first half is what it comes down to. If LC have a couple more rounds to play with, maybe they don't have to force up the way they did there at the end. We could be looking at a different game, but in the end, LC, they're the ones who got hammered, and dAT. World at it, he didn't drop the 30 bomb in the end, but still, like that was some sick play. I want to see if he can actually continue that kind of performance versus Fnatic, because it seems like it's going to be crucial.
It definitely will. Now, guys, before we go to a break and we go on to Fnatic versus that team, which is our next game coming up, best of 3 here, we're going